Donald Trump leading the Republican pack in the latest Wall Street Journal NBC News poll. He takes 19% of the vote. Scott Walker, second, 15%. Now, look, Trump's known for saying contentious things, right? Listen to what he said about paying taxes on Face the Nation.
You know what? And I've said this many times, so it's not exactly breaking news. I pay as little as possible. I fight like hell to pay as little as possible for two reasons. Number one, I'm a businessman, and that's the way you're supposed to do it, and you put the money back into your company and employees and all of that. But the other reason is that I hate the way our government spends our taxes.
Well, you know, I had to restrain the judge in the middle of that soundbite because he was in full agreement, I might add. Napolitano is here.
May I suggest, Mr. Varney, that you as well are in full agreement with that?
I am, absolutely. However, I wonder how that will play in a society where less than half the people pay any federal income tax at all. A man who is very wealthy and who says, I pay as little as possible and I'm proud of it, is that man going to be popular?
Do you think that that man, and we speak of Donald Trump, is aiming for votes amongst the Mitt Romney 47%? That's the crowd you're talking about.
Yes.
And
he wants them.
If he is aiming for votes there, his theory is that by lowering taxes and allowing people to keep more of their money and invest it and spend it as they see fit, a rising tide will lift all boats and you people will have better and higher paying jobs. That's his argument to them.
It? I've never heard that made out. I've never heard him say cut tax rates and grow the economy. Never heard it.
I don't know that he would articulate it that way, but knowing him as I do, I think that's the essence of his argument. Look, the biggest big government member of the Supreme Court in the past 100 years, Oliver Wendell Holmes, once said, no person should pay a cent more than they are obligated to. And under our system, as heavy-handed as it is, we calculate our own taxes. The government doesn't calculate it for us. So what the Donald is saying is not only sound economically, it's sound morally. Who in their right mind would pay more than they're obliged?
Fair point. Now, Donald Trump, at some point, if he goes way down the road towards the election, he's got to release his tax forms. Most other candidates release their tax forms.
I think he probably will. And we'll see what the effective rate is.
Wait a second. He's in the real estate business. Now, you and I both know, Judge, that there are all kinds of very neat little, some would call loopholes, in the real estate business.
Every one of those loopholes was written into the law by a majority of the Congress or by a revenue ruling by the IRS.
Yes.
But the average person might not appreciate or understand why they're there, how they're there, and how Mr. Trump utilized them. But big picture, when you're talking about the amount of income he has, it actually benefits the economy when he pays less taxes.
Yes, of course.
Because unless he puts that money in a shoebox, which he doesn't, it's going to get out there somehow.
Yes. If you were one of the moderators on Thursday's panel, the debate, and you had
sorely tempt me.
Would you ask Donald Trump? Would you? I've forgotten what my question was going to be
about his effective tax rate.
No, I know.
I would ask him what the tax rate should be.
No, would you say to Donald Trump, all taxation is theft?
Yes,
Agree, Donald?
Yes, I would, and he'd probably say yes.
No, he would not. He would not. All right, I think you'll not be with us for the rest of the show, will you?
I'll be back in the morning. You know what I'm doing?
I know. Tell him.
Geraldo Rivera, WABC. If you're in New York, filling in for Geraldo Rivera on WABC Radio.
Excellent. You've got to listen because...
No, it'll be a different show.
Don't listen. That conflicts with my show.
Oh, well, listen during the commercials.
Get out of here. Do you remember this? Thank you, Dude. Do you remember the CEO who gave all of his employees a raise to $70,000 a year minimum? He's run into a few problems, and we'll deal with it in a moment.
Sometimes if you're a little bit below what it takes to scrape by, that can be distracting from that passion, from that purpose that you have for what you do. And so I'm all about achieving at the maximum amount, but I want to remove those distractions and basically help people move forward.